Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Outside the Box. I'm Mark from Haunted Auckland and Paranormal New Zealand. For today's episode, I'll be talking to Brent and Emma from BE Paranormal or BE Paranormal over in Bolton, England. Hi guys. So good to finally get to talk to you guys. I've been watching a few videos and watching some of your live feeds and all that. It's been really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how long have you guys been going for?
As a team, we've been about a couple of years now. Yeah. About 2 years, but obviously I've been in the paranormal for about 17 years in total.
Right. Okay.
You've been a couple of years, haven't you?
Yeah.
And so were you in other teams before that, or?
I've worked with other teams. I've had my own team in the past as well.
Yeah.
It was an events company, so it wasn't the same. Obviously, you can't really investigate properly now when you've got particular guests and stuff around.
So did you meet up through the field itself by doing investigations, or?
It all started off. I had this friend on Facebook, and she happened to just put a post out there that was of an EVP recording. And I just got into the paranormal. I just got interested in it, and I commented on it looking if there was a team out there that wanted another member of staff. One of the men on there had messaged Brent's name. We didn't really start talking at first, did we? It was quite a few months, wasn't it, before like things started rolling, and then Brent welcomed me on his team. And then we became partners, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's always nice when that happens, isn't it? When you've got the same interests and, like-minded people. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So, are you okay? From Bolton in England.
Yeah.
I don't think I haven't been over that way. I've been over to the UK quite a bit. I haven't been to Bolton. It's on my list now, now that I know about it.
I'm from Nottingham, but obviously I've moved up here now.
Okay, awesome. So many haunted locations around that way, I assume there are?
In Bolton, you mean?
Yeah, Bolton,
UK.
We have the Snibbles Hall, Turton Towers.
Okay. Have you investigated those places?
I've not investigated them. I've visited them as a museum, but never had the opportunity to investigate at them.
Right. I'm always looking for new locations because I go over to the UK quite a bit. I travel around because I always go back to Scotland. I always love heading up to Scotland there and checking out all the locations and investigating with teams. So I'm always driving around the UK looking for new towns and things to visit. So
I can recommend a good one. It's about an hour away from here. It's called Newsham Park. That's one to look at. It's been an orphanage. It's been an old people's home. It's been a mental asylum. So it's quite an active place.
Nice. I do like a good asylum. And is it an abandoned one, or is it running as a touristy?
It's more like It's abandoned now, but the guy who owns it, he rents it out to paranormal teams to go investigate and that sort of thing. So it's still got some original artifacts in there, like the old beds, the old morgue, fridges and stuff, all that stuff in it still.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm putting that on my list. I'll have to get some details off you then, so I can track this guy down and make contact, and I'll get you guys along with me or something, perhaps. Because
great. It's
always nice to meet you.
One of the that big you couldn't do it all in one night. 90,000. It's huge.
How many buildings?
It's sort of like you've got one main one and you've got a few scattered. It's all quite close together, but it's that big. You can't investigate all in one night.
Right. Okay. And what would be the best place that you've been to over your way?
For me, I'm going to get shared in this place. I said that often. The Ancient Ram Inn down in Gloucester.
Yes, I went there last year, at the beginning of this year, actually.
I've done it 5 times, and I love the place. It's just amazing, the activity you get from there, and the history and the story behind it. It's unbelievable.
I love it. Yeah, I've been there once. I spent a night there, and I didn't feel anything myself. Nothing really happened. I mean, we did have a few sort of shuffling sounds of movement during a live feed that I was doing at the time on Facebook. But yeah, very intriguing place. I'm keen to get back there and spend another night there. As you say, there are a lot of good stories.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I think it's satanic stuff, like you've got all this child sacrifice and that sort of thing.
How much of that do you think is true?
It's one of those. Is it an urban legend, or is it? Do you know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah. Still, the stories are pretty cool, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And okay, equipment. Do you guys use much equipment on your investigations at all?
Yeah, we use it quite a bit. Don't we? We use, obviously, EVP recorders. I like the SLS as well. Use that, but a lot of people have been speaking about it. They don't really like it because obviously mapping people and anything else it can pick up. So it's actually a spirit.
So it's kind of like thinking that, aren't we?
We'll put that one on the back burner a little bit now on the SLS side of things.
Yeah.
What do you like?
My favourite is the EDI.
Yes, I've got a couple of those. They're quite neat, eh?
Yeah.
Quite good. Quite interesting. You get a lot of data sort of gathering technology there for your money, which is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good, sort of vibration detector and all that.
If I can find one, I wouldn't mind finding an Ovilus. That's one bit of equipment we haven't got. We'd like one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we've tried the Ovilus a few times, and we sort of gave up on them really because it was a bit too random. You're sort of creating words randomly, and when you sort of find out that there is a library built into them with specific words that would appeal to ghost hunters, it does kind of put you off a bit. But it's interesting watching some of the experiments that people do with them. The SLS camera, we've got one ourselves that we've used. I think it's how you use them. I think you can take these bits of equipment and use them in different ways than what they're actually created for. Use them to experiment with, as trigger objects even. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you use trigger objects much in your research?
We did an investigation in a restaurant not far from where we live called the Watermilk, and we used, because it used to be an old people's home. It was used for the injured in the war.
War hospital.
Yeah, and a children's hospital, weren't it? So we used like different music for like at the wartime, children's music like nursery rhymes, and it sparked a few.
We got some activity from it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's interesting, isn't it? Something very simple, like even things like a ball. We've got one of our trigger objects that we take on every single investigation is Mr. Smiley. Just the rubber ball.
Yeah.
He's one we take on every single investigation, and he's had lots of activity. He's been rolled down stairs, down hallways, and we're thinking we should actually put a camera on him because he's experienced more activity than we have.
Yeah.
So, simple things like that, eh? It's sometimes the simple items are the best items, I think.
Yeah.
True.
Do you think there are any sort of gadgets being used out there at the moment that are sort of overrated, that people are using all the time but that don't really get much evidence?
Probably some of the phone apps you can get.
Yeah.
I think they're not really worth trying to use on investigations. Some are, some aren't, but there's a lot out there. I think a lot of them do work. I think it's all generated for ghost hunters sort of thing.
A lot of those apps that plant ghost photos ghost images into your photos.
Yeah.
We get a lot of photographs sent to us with those sort of images in the photos. We have to explain to them that it's the app that they're using. So what would be the most exciting experience you may have had while out in the field?
probably for me, it would be a place called Margam Castle down in South Wales. It's probably like 12, 13 years ago. But when they were investigating one night, there was about 5 of us on the investigation. And we just basically sat around a table in one of the rooms upstairs, and we're doing a bit of glass work. And people were asking out, and nothing was happening. But then I started asking the questions, and things were happening. We were knocks and bangs, and the glass were moving, and everything else. That night, we had a medium with us, and he basically said that the spirit was a lady that she used to live there, and she was telling him that she was looking for a husband to come back from the war. So apparently she's seen in the windows looking out over the fields from time to time in the daytime. So apparently this lady was only communicating with me because apparently she came out to him and said that I look like a husband. So she thought I was him. Okay. So basically, obviously, he turned around to her and said, "Oh, do you know, this is Brent, he's not your husband." And when we caught AVP, like a female, like a real sad sigh, straight after. But it was a summer's night, and it's just like you could just tell that she was with me all night because I just got cold. I was wearing a t-shirt like I am now, it was warm, but all down my one side was cold all night. So like she was stood next to me, and she didn't really respond to me all night as well.
Right.
It's somewhere I'd like to go back at some point.
Nice. That's awesome. And what are your thoughts on paranormal TV shows? I mean, what are your opinions on how they portray the paranormal field? Do you think it's a help to the research field or a bit of a hindrance to the research field?
We personally feel that all the shows that are out there have got their own techniques of investigating and lost my train of thought.
They all offer a bit of something different.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, obviously I'm not going to name names, but there's certain shows that I wouldn't really want. Well, I'm not naming names, but things like people like Ghost Hunters guys, their investigation, the way they go hunt is spot on. I mean, they do it, go there, they don't get nothing, it's still shown on TV.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got the guys from Ghost Loop, where they go there, they investigate, and then to reenact it all, it's brilliant. We love it, don't we?
Yeah.
I suppose you've got the different shows that some are good for entertainment, and some are good for actually documenting how the field is and the work that goes on behind the scenes, I guess. I mean, sure, of course, they add all the drama in there and the scary music and all that to get people excited.
I mean,
they kind of.
I mean, for me, I'd rather watch a show and they go to a location and they get nothing.
Yeah.
The one that's made up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's me personally. I'd rather watch that than I would when you know they're investigating it properly.
That's right. Of course, we know that ghosts don't come out on cue. You have to sort of just be in the right place at the right time for things to happen. What do you think would be the sort of the hardest part of being a paranormal investigator? What's the most demanding aspect of it for you?
Social media.
Yeah, social media, definitely.
Really? Demanding in a negative way, or?
I think there's just a lot of negativity when it comes, not all the time, when it comes to social media. I think you get your good and your bad. We've really experienced the bad.
Yeah. It tends to be the case when you get a bit of a name for yourself in the paranormal, people start jumping on you and stuff.
That's right.
But you find you get a bit of trolling going at times to times. People are jealous of what you're achieving and what you're doing.
But I think if you're in this sort of field, this sort of industry, I think you need to have a very strong backbone and to not let it bother you. Because at the end of the day, you're all doing the same thing. Why not work together? Why not share the same passion? Why knock someone down for, making an achievement of it?
I totally agree. We're on the same journey. We're on the same path, looking for the same answers. So why not? Yeah. And
I mean, we're sat now speaking to a guy from, is it New Zealand?
Yep. No, yes,
I
yeah,
mean-
I'm New Zealand. Yes, yes, yes.
What's not cool about that? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
It's bringing.
Yeah, that's it. No matter where you are in the world, we're all still looking for the same answer. So why not build a power of unity in it and work together?
Yeah. I mean, we share a lot of our evidence with other teams. I'm always networking. I mean, that's why I'm doing these videos. I mean, during this whole lockdown period, I was very limited and I wasn't able to do investigations. So I thought, how else can I be active in the field, and what else can I do to stay in touch with the teams? And this helps me with my research, talking to people like yourself, and just talking to people all over the world in this sort of Zoom chat format. It's a good way of just interacting and a good way of finding out how you guys do things and your opinions on things. And you know, you guys will teach me something. I might say something that might teach you something, and we're still learning from each other. But we're not actually out there investigating. We're still researching in a different sort of format, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's like I say, I've been doing it 17 years now, and I'm still learning now. There's all new things that are coming out, ways of doing stuff, this and that. You learn every day still.
Yeah. It's a field that's always changing, and I think it always will. There'll be gadgets coming through, new technology coming through. There'll be new theories coming out. People will have different ideas and opinions. And of course, with social media, of course, people will try and get up above everybody else, and everybody wants to be rock stars, and that's fine. But it's just not realistic. You know, you've got to be realistic and honest about it. I mean, I've watched a few of your videos and a few of your talks and things, and I can see that you guys are honest and genuine. You're just down to earth.
Yeah.
Down to earth. It's the way to be, and I respect that, and I like that. There are a lot of people out there that are just they have huge egos, massive egos, and I blame Paranormal TV for that, for creating these types of people. This sort of the competition within teams and all that. It's not necessary.
I mean, that's part of the jealousy on social media. Like, one team's got bigger than that one, but like we've always said, what's the difference? Does it make a difference if you've got 200,000 followers? Does that make you a better investigator than the one that's got 200 followers?
That's right.
It doesn't. It's how you are in the field and how you are as an investigator, not how many people are watching.
Yes, exactly right. I totally agree. It's about your intent in this field. You know, what are you in this field for? What do you expect out of it? How far do you want to go in it? I mean, I know lots of teams that just sort of are in it for the thrills. They're in it because they want to be TV stars. They're not in it for the research, and they want the easy way out. But then there are lots of really good, dedicated researchers out there that put their whole lives into it, and have been doing it for many years, and they're growing as people. They're growing inside with their knowledge and their experience, and I think it's a good thing. I think eventually we'll find the answers. It'll be people like us that actually get out there and do the hard work that'll find the answers. Yeah. So how do you feel the paranormal field itself? I mean, I know there's a lot of negativity going on, but how do you think the field can actually advance further? How can it progress further in the future and get better?
I think it's just working together, sharing evidence and that sort of thing. It's going to help get the answers more than anything.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You find now that there's a lot of these groups out there doing events companies, taking groups rather than being out there investigating properly. They take groups of people around rather than actually investigate. There's more events companies out there than there is actual paranormal investigation teams.
Yeah, it's very hard to do a decent investigation when you've got 50 people in the building, all making noises.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah. There are quite a few theories out there to what ghosts are or might be. They go for everything from residual to intelligent to aliens to interdimensional beings and that sort of thing. Have you had any experiences in any of your investigations that kind of fitted any of those categories? Residual or?
We've had some obviously intelligent spirits, and obviously they've responded we've asked them a question, we've asked them to knock and knock twice, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of shout about demonic lately as well on TV, but I've never experienced anything demonic side of things. I don't know if it's just a UK thing or whether they get a lot more in the US, I'm not sure, but we've never really experienced anything like demonic wise. But I mean, I don't believe in demonic because I do, but everyone puts anything nasty down to demonic. Couldn't it just be like an angry spirit that was watching the spirit angry in his lifetime? Like, I don't know,
That's right.
murderer or, you know what I mean?
Makes sense, doesn't it?
How do you defy it being demonic every time?
Yeah.
It might be. I mean, it could be if they've been practicing the black arts or that sort of thing. But I mean, there's enough nasty people out there. I'm sure when they pass over, they're going to be nasty in spirit as well.
Exactly. Nasty in life, nasty in death.
Yeah.
Why would a person change just because they're dead? If the spirit or a ghost is the remnants of a person, it would make sense that their personality would just remain the same and they would just carry on being that person inside.
Yeah.
I don't think they suddenly become nice people when they're dead. It doesn't make sense. Maybe they do. I don't know. Famous ghost cases. Has there been a famous ghost case anywhere in history that's really made you go, wow, that was awesome? Or a photograph or a video or...
There was a photo, I can't remember what, I think it might be the Chillingham Castle, I think, I'm not 100%, or no, was it? There's a photo of a spirit in like a sort of Tudor sort of outfit coming out the doorway, fire doors, I can't remember where the location was.
Is that the one where the doors fly open? Doors fly open and a ghost comes out outside?
It's sort of like, yeah, I think it was like a drone or something going across. Filming above, is it Hampton Court? It might be Hampton Court, I think. Sure, it's Hampton Court. Somebody flying a drone above and caught like a spirit coming out, like a set of fire doors. It looked like it was in Tudor outfit. I'm sure it's Hampton Court. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, for anybody wanting to get into this whole field, I mean, there's thousands of people wanting to get into it. Everybody wants to be a ghost hunter. What important details do you think they should know? What important tips could you guys give them from what you've experienced yourself?
Have a lot of patience. Yeah. Obviously, you can go and do a location, but 1 week and you can be active and you can get loads of responses, and then you can get a week after and get absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So,
what?
I'm saying, so basically, after like when you go to investigation, just go there and just don't expect them to perform. Just go there, investigate it. If you get active night, then it's good. If not,
don't be disheartened.
Yeah.
And another one there is, any location that you go in with your utmost respect.
Yeah.
These spirits will want living humans like us. You wouldn't go into someone's house and start giving them abuse or shouting. You go into that property with respect.
Yeah, it's important. That's right. I totally agree. Okay, guys. One last question. During investigations, what are your go-to snacks? What do you take along on your journey?
Me personally, I don't eat on investigations, but I take some cans of Red Bull to keep me going.
Red Bull, that was my next question.
Yeah.
I was going to say coffee or energy drinks.
Energy drink, definite. But I normally hit McDonald's on my way home.
Yeah. I'm sticking with energy drinks myself, yeah. They seem to work better.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm going to head off now. It's a late one here.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you. We should do it again. We should do it again at some stage. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. And when I come over, I'll make contact with you, and maybe we can organise something.
We'll arrange something for Newsham Park, definitely.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, guys. I'll catch you later. Thanks very much. And we'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon, okay? Stay in touch, okay?
Yeah. Right, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.